Okay, so in our last class we have just completed something like how we can just use pandas library for reading a csv file. Okay, csv files are just same as our excel files in which we have data. Okay, so I have one file downloaded, that is dirtydata.csv in the same directory. Okay, so first of all, initially what we'll do, we will just try to print that what our data frame returns us, like what kind of data we have. So we have done it. So we will print our data frame. So if you can see, our data frame is something like this, which is having this serial number, the duration, date, pulse, max pulse, and calories. Okay, and if you see the data, so here you can see a none, which says that it is a null value, like there is no value here. Okay, and there is a value which is not appropriate here also. Okay, if you can see that. So here the duration is something like 60, so we can take it as a hour, 1 hour. So it is something showing a 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. And what is this? 450. So I guess it is not appropriate data for us. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to like clean the data. Okay, so the data we have, so first of all, let's talk about what cleaning of data means. Okay, so cleaning of data means we can just like remove empty cells. Okay, the cells which are empty, or we can say the rows which are empty, we can remove them. If the data is in wrong format, so we can just change it to the correct format. Okay, we can just eliminate the wrong data, and instead of that we can put a demo data in that. Okay, we can just remove duplicates from our set, or what we have it. Okay, so here I guess it's clear that this is our data. Okay, so what initially what we will do, we will just use something like remove rows. Okay, so first of all, if the cell is empty, so we are going to remove that row. Okay, so for that we have a function which is something like drop na. So what I'll do first, I'll import my pandas as pd. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll make a data frame df. So it's something it will take, we will read our csv file. So what we'll write, pd dot read underscore csv, and we'll pass the name of our csv file. For this I have dirty data dot csv. Okay, so I guess I have my file. So by default the drop na. Okay, so what the function drop na will do, like by default the drop na method returns a new data frame that will not change the original. Okay, so by default the drop in a data frame, the drop na function, or we can say the method, will return a new data frame. Okay, so if I'm going to do something like df dot drop na and something like this, and I print df. Okay, so let's see what it will do. So if we have run it, so we can see like no changes here. Okay, so what we'll do, or what this drop na will do, like drop na will just remove the empty columns which we have in our like empty rows which we have in this. If we have a very big chunk of data, like we have something around 5 lakh, 6 lakhs data frames, okay, or we can say 6 lakh elements of the data. So it is like something good to eliminate some data, like we have 2 lakh data or 3 lakh data, so we can remove some sort of data from it, like which is not we can say it is good to remove that, because it will not play a key role in like further things. Okay, so for drop na we will going to return the new data frame. Okay, so our old data frame is not just like it haven't done anything to our actual data frame. Okay, So if I say it something as sd equal to this, and initially we will print our data frame, like our actual data frame, and then what will print our sd. Okay, and when we run it, we can see this is our actual data frame, and this is the new data frame, or the data frame which we are obtaining from the drop na terms. Okay, so we can see there is not a lot of changes, but a minute change you can notice that if there is a value as none at 22, so you can see it has removed that. Okay, it has removed the element at 22th index. Okay, so this is a difference, that our original is original, and wherever it just got this none, or we can say the null value, it just deleted that row from it. So drop na is clear, I guess. The drop na, what drop na will do, drop na will remove the null values from the data we have. Okay, now what we can do if we have some null values. Okay, so initially what I'll do, I'll just we can say I will not do anything to it. Just I'm copying this. Okay, I'm copying my data frame, pasting it again here. Okay, now I have my data frame. Now let's say I have some na there. Okay, like in our actual data frame I have some na, like null values are there. So if I don't want those null values, so what I can do, I can just fill that null values with some sort of like dummy value. We can say we can just fill them by a dummy value. So what we'll do for that, we have a method known as fill na. So df dot fill na, and I guess I say I'll just use 130 as our demo data. Okay, and if I just now print that df, let's see what it will return. It is just returning our this nan. Why? Because the fill na will defaultly return the original one. Like it will make a new like what we can say, it will make a new data frame and it will return it, but we are not making a new data frame, and we are just printing this df. So what we have to do for like apply the changes in that, what we'll write in place equal to true. Now if I run it, so you can see the NaN data is changed to 130 here. Okay, this data has changed to 130. The data we have as NA, so it is just changed to 130. Here also I guess we have NA, so it is also changed to 130. Okay, so what I have done here, like it is a little bit confusing, that this fill NA and this drop NA. Okay, so when we have just saved, or we can say we have just assigned a variable to this, then it returned us the data. Okay, whatever we wanted, unless and until we haven't assigned this as d variable to this, it haven't returned us anything. Okay, so we can assume that the drop na will not going to affect our original data. Okay, and what if I write here also in place equal to true. Okay, so if I write in place equal to true, and now what I have done, I have just removed this sd and comment it out from here. Now what it will do, it will just replace, or we can say it will just delete the empty data inside our actual data frame, unless and until we are saving it to a like data a variable sd. After that we have just removed that sd, so it will just changed our actual data frame. Okay, so I guess this drop na and fill na is clear. Okay, so by the name it's clear that drop na like drop null values, and fill na is something like fill the null values with our dummy data. Okay, so this is one thing, like we can say this is what we will do. And if we want to change, or what we can say, we have to just fill the null values of a particular column. Okay, so we'll do it right here. First of all, I'll show that print df. When we will run it, we can say we have to change the values which are present in calories. Like we can say we only have to change the null values present in the calories column. Okay, so this is a calorie column and it has a none value. Okay, in here it also has a none value. So if I say I just want to change the null values present in my calories column. Okay, so what we'll do, so I guess we have seen this, what we have or what we are having, or we can say we'll have it. Okay, so it will be good for what we can say the comparison purpose. So what we'll do, we'll call a data frame and call the calories column from that. Okay, we have called the calories column, and what we'll do, we'll say dot fill NA, and again the dummy data 130, or the data we want to replace it with, comma, in place equal to true. Okay, now what I'll do, now I will print my df and run it. So here you can see none. Okay, and here also you can see none, but here from here are what we can say the fill NS starts, and if you can see 130 here, like it is the none, or we can say the null value, so it has just filled it with 130 here and here also. Okay, so I guess we are familiar, or we can say we are good about that, how we can change the values from here, or how we can change a value of a particular column. Okay, now what we can also do, we can just instead of fill NA, like instead of filling the null values with some dummy data, we can fill it by some of the methods. Like we can take the mean of the column, and we can just fill the data with mean, median, or mod. Okay, so what the mean is, so we can say that average is our mean. So we know that total, the sum of the column, the sum of the elements of the column upon total number of columns, so that will be the mean. Okay, so first of all we'll see how we can like change it with the mean. So we will just assign a new variable x. Okay, because we need to change it. So we will having a variable x which will contain the mean of our column. Okay, so suppose in the same, we are going to take the mean of our calories column. Okay, so if we say df dot, not dot, df and our calories column, and then we'll just write the name of our method mean. Okay, so what we'll say, we'll just print x. Okay, so what will be the mean, we are going to print it. So if we have print, so we can see our mean is 304.68. Okay, now I want to replace all the null values in the calories column with this mean. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just say df, okay, df calories dot fill NA, and we are just passing the dummy data in the previous question. So what we will pass here, we will pass this x here. Okay, so we'll passing the x, comma, in place equal to true. What in place will do here, the same thing. In place will just change our this data frame. Okay, we'll make changes to this data frame. Now if I print my data frame and run it, so here we can only see our mean which we are printing here, and if we come here, our mean is 304.68. If we come down, we can see the 18th column is 304.68, which is the null value, and here also 28th column 304.68, it is also the null value, so it is got changed with our mean. Okay, same condition what we'll do with the median one. Okay, so what the median is, when we are going to arrange the data from in ascending order, like from the smallest to the largest, the term which comes at the center will taken as the median. Okay, so same thing we are going to do. Df, again we are going to change the same calories. Okay, calories dot, now we'll say the function name as median, because we are going to take the median of that. Okay, now again what we'll say, df calories, okay, dot fill na, like fill everything with x, comma, in place equal to true. Okay, now we'll print df, and we will print our median also, that what we are getting as median, so we will going to print x also. Okay, so if we run it, so 291.2 is our median. Okay, so 291.2 is our median. So if we can see our 18th column, which is none in our calories, so it is just replaced with its median, which is 291.2. And here also at 28th number, it is also just like we can say replaced by 291.2. Okay, now final for this is mod. Okay, so what mod is, the most occurring value. Okay, like we have read it in our statistics that the most occurring value in a table is known as its mod. Okay, so now again the same thing we are going to do, x equal to df, okay, our calories dot mod. Okay, so first of all we'll check what is our mod. So we'll print x. When we run it, it comes out to be 300. Okay, and what we can if I say the type of x, or we can say type of our mod, so it is say pandas dot core dot series. Okay, so it says it's a series. So we have seen that series is something we will denote to the columns, like our columns will be our series. We have read it previously. So if I just remove this type, okay, and if I just print x, so what it is giving me, it is giving me this 0 and this 300. So this 0 will be its serial number and this 300 will be its value of mod. So what if we want to access this value, so this is at the 0th index. So what we will do, we'll just provide it the index 0, and if we are going to print it now, so we will getting like we are getting 300. And what we can do, we can change it df calories dot fill na with x, comma, in place equal to true, and then we'll print our data frame. Okay, so if we run it, so we'll look closely that our what is our mod, so it is 300. So if we can see, this 18th column is our null value for the calories, so here it is replaced with 300. Okay, and this 28th column, I get 28th row will also be something like null value for the calories, so it is just got replaced with 300, or we can say replaced it with mod. Okay, so these are how we can just replace the data by using mean, median and mod. Okay, so I guess this is clear that how we can just like what we can say replace, or we can say we can clean the data in pandas. Okay, so now another thing, we have like we can see this is not the appropriate data for duration. So this is a wrong value. So what we have to do, we have to replace this value. We can say what I say, that it has a ratio like 60, 45 and all. So what we can say, that we can replace this 450 with something like 45, 60 or 30. Okay. So how we are going to change that? So what we'll do, initially we'll load our CSV file. Okay, we'll load our file, and then what we'll do, df dot loc, like I have told you about the function loc, which we can say it's something like locate. Okay, locate, and we can see that it has a serial number 7. Okay, so we can say locate 7, we can, or we can say locate the 7th element under duration column. Okay, and change it to something like 45, and now print df for me. If I print it, so you can see that the 7th element under the duration column is just changed to 45. Okay, now we can like check everything, like we can check this by using our for loop and if else condition. Okay, so how we can do that? So first of all, I'll write my for loop. So we can say for I in df dot index. So what it will do, the df dot index will return the indexes for me, and I will say if df dot loc, okay, and x, like we will iterating on its I, we are iterating on something like we are iterating on the indexes. So if the index I under the duration column, okay, is greater than, we can say 60, we can suppose it as 60. So what we will do, we will just df dot loc, okay, we will just do df dot loci comma duration will be equal to 60. Okay, so what we are doing, like we are iterating over this. Okay, we are iterating through this indexes, and what we are asking it, if df dot loc, like df dot locate in any index in the duration column, if it is greater than 60, then change that particular column or change that particular element under duration column to 60. Okay, and if I run it, I can run it, we can print df. Okay, if I run it, you can see we have our 7th column as 450. So now it is just converted with, or we can say it is just changed with 60 here. Okay, I guess it is understood that what this for loop is doing. Okay, we can also drop this, like we don't want to just like change it, we just have to drop that whole column. Okay, so what we'll do, same thing for I in df dot index. Okay, for I in df dot index, if I say if df dot loc x I comma, again we are searching in duration column. Okay, duration column is greater than 60. Okay, so what we'll do, we have to drop that. So df dot, we will use that function drop. So what does drop will do, drop will just take our argument x comma in place, place, in place equal to true, and we remember that it is our 7th row which is having problem. So we'll say just print df, and when we run it, oh, key error, Okay. Hmm. It's something like drop an A. Again, the key error. Okay, key error is 300. Okay, so df dot drop, we are saying x is greater than and returning x, it is I. Now I run it. Okay, so we can see the problem is with our seventh index. So this, it has just, what it has done, it has dropped the seventh index for us. Okay, I guess it is clear up to here that how we can just fix the data in that. Okay, now another thing, what if we have duplicates inside our list, or we can say inside our data frame? Okay, so first of all, what we'll do, we'll again load our file, we'll print something like df dot duplicated, and what it will return us, I guess it will return us the duplicate, which is, we can see at the 12th index we are having true. Okay, so at 12th index we are having the true data. Okay, now how we can like delete this? The same thing we will going to do, what, df dot drop, we have a function drop duplicates. Okay, drop duplicates, and what we'll say, in place in place equal to true, and what we'll do, we'll print df, and if we run it, drop duplicates dot stand in place place. So we can see we have a duplicate on 12th index, and if we can see we have no 12th index now. Okay, our 12th index is just removed because it is a duplicate. Okay, so I guess up to here it is clear that what we are doing, this, what, how we are going to use these functions like drop duplicates, drop an A, how we can just replace or fill the empty spaces with mean, median, and mod. Okay, and what this in place is doing, what in place is doing, in place is changing, or in place is making these changes, these drop duplicate, these changes to our actual data frame. Okay, what if I just remove this in place and run it? So you can see we have a 12th index now. So what it is doing, it is not affecting our actual data frame without using in place equal to true. We can just consider in place equal to true as just change at the point of time. Okay, so if I just write in place again, and if I run it, you can see our 12th column is gone now. Okay, so by default, this drop duplicates, drop and drop NA stores data into a variable. After that, we can just print that variable. Okay, it is not going to affect our actual data. But if we write in place equal to true, so what it will do, it will just make changes to our actual data frame. Okay, so I guess this is clear that what we are going to do with that, like how we are going to change the datas and all. Okay, so I hope you have understood that all.